the next little
What's next, Ben? Give us the tea.
the next conflict is probably the one people are most expecting you to talk about, because you did sort of publicly talk about it at one point.
Yeah.
And that's Bath and Body Works came out with that little bottle of hand sanitizer that said "Hollow It's Me" on it. It was at the same time that they came out with a series of hand sanitizers, and all the other ones had like these little cute internet sayings on them. Like, I think one was like "slay all day," or just like some very
Yeah.
generic internet slang terms. But then the "Hollow It's Me" one, not only did it say "Hollow It's Me," it had the holographic label. The spacing of the words was even similar to your merchandise that had "Hollow It's Me" on it. And, you know, we wake up one day and you're just getting bombarded with notifications and tweets and texts of people tagging you saying, "Hey, look, I just bought this hand sanitizer. It reminded me of you."
Yeah.
You're just getting tons of those, right? Our speculation is that some intern probably was like Googling internet sayings to put on these little bottles of hand sanitizer just for like cute, cheap marketing ideas, and probably didn't realize that that "Hollow It's Me" one is like purely associated with you, and that we had pending trademark registrations for it at the time. So this is I think an interesting case too, because so we work with a big law firm here in Canada, and that helps because they have a bunch of different people in different departments. So if we have some questions about how US and Canada law works together, because we do business in the States, like they have a bunch of lawyers there who are well versed in all these areas of the law. But it's also an issue from the perspective of the other giant companies that operate in Canada are maybe using the same big expensive lawyers we are, right? So when
You're doing good, Wen.
so when we went to our usual lawyers and said, "Hey, we think Bath and Body Works is infringing on our trademark," the first thing they do is they look up if they also represent Bath and Body Works, and it turned out they did in Canada. So we couldn't even discuss this issue with our usual lawyer who we talk about these things with.
And neither could Bath and Body Works.
That's true. That works both ways, right?
We both had to get a new lawyer just for the purposes
of just having a conversation about it.
Yeah.
So like you're not saying anything at this point, because we wanted to at least touch base with a lawyer before you say anything public. But you're getting all these tweets about it.
It made me so upset.
Really frustrating situation. Like, we're seeing clips of people buying it because they think you have something to do with it, right?
Yeah, and that was the most frustrating thing. And like I said in my last Simply Nailogical video, thank you guys for pointing out when you see things that you think are infringement, because I do notice them. I may not respond, maybe just because I get a million tweets, but also strategically, I may not say anything yet, but I collect them. And I got a ton of tweets of people taking a picture in stores at Bath and Body Works of a whole "Hollow It's Me" and saying, "I just bought this for my friend because she loves you."
Yeah.
Or, "I didn't know you had a collab with Bath and Body Works. I'm so proud of you." And like my heart breaks a little because yes, I feel taken advantage of course. I had nothing to do with it, just to be clear. And B, you guys don't know this yet. You don't know that I denounce this. There is no real relationship and I am being cheated, is my position. And meanwhile, you think this is like a great thing and you're buying it and you're buying it for your friends and you don't know the truth. And if you knew, you would probably be like, "Oh, I don't support this." So I felt this very weird, like, upset thing that I didn't want to say anything because it wasn't smart and we weren't clear on what to do yet. But I was so sad just continuously getting all these comments from you that showed that there was clear confusion in the marketplace because people actually thought, "This is so cool. It's like you in a store."
Yeah. So we get in touch with a different lawyer that we've never worked with before, and we talk about the issue, and they draft a letter and send that off to Bath and Body Works. And at that point, we're like, we just have to say something about it at this point. You didn't want to just keep letting people buy these things because they think they're yours, right?
So I drafted something, but we told the lawyers what I would say.
Did we exactly?
We did.
Anyway,
yeah.
you tweeted out. You just said like, "Hello everyone, it's me, Cristine again. A lot of you guys have been commenting on my socials about a product sold at Bath and Body Works with the label 'Hollow It's Me.' I want to make it clear that I'm in no way affiliated with or endorsing this product. Bath and Body Works is infringing on my trademark and misleading my audience, and I think they're profiting off that confusion. Thank you to everyone who's been tagging me. I didn't want to respond until I'd talked to my lawyers. They have now contacted Bath and Body Works, and we are waiting for a reply saying thanks so much. Really appreciate all the support from my Hollow fam.
Very professional. When meanwhile I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And it's not even like a financial thing. It's not like we're sitting there being like, oh, they're making money off of us. It's just like
it's
tricking
I'm
fans into buying something because they think it has to do with you. And anyway, so we send off that letter, and that actually, you tweeting this out, it helped, but it also kind of hurt us in a weird way. And I'll sort of explain why, right? So a lot of the time, if you're a YouTuber with a big audience and you think a brand is ripping off something that belongs to you, your best course of action might actually just be to call them out on social media. Because what's the likelihood you are actually going to go through a lengthy legal process and actually try to resolve it through that more formal, traditional way, right? If you have an influence in an audience, these brands care about their reputation, you might just be better off publicly shaming them, frankly. So I guess you sort of at least achieved what you wanted to, in the sense that your fans realized that
it wasn't to do with
they
me.
weren't going to buy that just because they liked you, because you had nothing to do with it. But what we saw was the comments on Bath and Body Works social at the time were a lot of confusion, like, oh, are you working with Cristine? Is this Cristine's collab or something,
but
right?
then as soon as
once you posted that, right, it shifted to people being kind of angry at them for using your phrase, your catchphrase.
Which I appreciate, however...
It kind of worked against us in a way, because in the reply, one of the main arguments they made is, hey, look at all these comments. There isn't any confusion.
Clearly they know it's not associated
Clearly they
with
know
you
don't have anything to do with the product.
It's kind of a trap, you see, because I didn't have a choice, I felt, after, I forget how long I waited, a week or two,
at least,
before saying, I have nothing to do with this. I had to say that to let my audience know that. That it wasn't a collab, and I'm not okay with this. But then as soon as I said that, yes, people are going to get upset, and their entire Instagram was flooded with people supporting me and saying, how dare you steal from Simply Nailogical. But then they used that against us and said, clearly there's no confusion. There was confusion until I said, don't be confused.
Yeah.
You see?
I know. Yeah, no, it was frustrating, and their reply was pretty dismissive too. And frankly, like, I don't want to pretend this is just some super obvious case. Like, it's not like we had registered or had any intention of releasing hand sanitizer with Hollow It's Me on it.
Legally speaking, let's break this down. We had already filed to register Hollow It's Me in Canada and the US at the time. Trademarks take years to actually register. But you can still claim you own the rights to a trademark if you just filed it, even though it hasn't formally registered yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we were at that stage, and it didn't matter. And I see this comment online. Well, it doesn't say registered yet, so it doesn't matter. Well, like that's not true. Any IP lawyer will tell you no. They filed. Their intent is to file. Intent is to use it on goods. So they filed, and Bath and Body Works did not, obviously.
Actually, sometimes if you're the type of person who looks up other people's trademark applications, sometimes you'll see that it says suspended.
And it sounds bad. But
and a lot of people assume that's some awful thing, like, oh, they must have got their trademark rejected.
I see that too.
When really you might just be temporarily suspending your trademark application because you're waiting for the registration to be completed in a different jurisdiction that you want to take precedent. Like, there's strategic reasons why you might suspend an application for a period of time. That doesn't mean it's been rejected.
Yeah.
So
legally, we did have the legal rights to it because we'd filed for Hollow It's Me. They didn't.
But we would have had to make the argument that, hand sanitizer is close enough to other products you care about.
Well, let's say this, like, we hadn't, because how could we have known this would happen? And also, we didn't really have an intent to sell hand sanitizer at the time that said Hollow It's Me. So hand sanitizer was not included on our initial application. Which is an argument they used against us, right?
Sure, and it is, of course they did, because it's a good argument. I think we had like hand cream on there because you thought maybe we'll sell a cuticle cream, hand cream at some point,
but we just
right?
didn't write hand sanitizer.
No.
However, back to confusion in the marketplace.
That's right.
Sometimes it doesn't matter, right? If the objects or the products are so close anyways, like hands, nails, sanitizer, and it's enough confusion in the marketplace that we were trying to argue that it didn't matter.
And we thought we had like and we had way more than we needed of evidence of people being confused and thinking that product was associated with you. So ultimately they send back, like, we were not surprised by the response, right? Like, they're not going to admit fault in a letter back to us.
No company
Why would
is.
Why would their lawyer do that?
Yeah.
But what they did say, strategically, we think, is at the very end of the letter, it goes, by the way, this is a seasonal product and will no longer be sold after this date.
Right.
And in our minds, our reading of that, and I think the pretty clear implication was they were basically saying, we're not admitting we did anything wrong here.
Legally.
But we're not going to sell it anymore.
So you can calm down and don't sue us.
So don't sue us. That's kind of how it resolved.
Yeah.
And that's not a very satisfying feeling at the end of the day, because they basically send you a letter back saying you're wrong about this, wrong here, wrong there.
But we'll stop.
Selling it. And we're not stopping selling it because you made the argument. We're just saying we're going to stop selling it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's kind of a dick thing.
That's kind of how things
But it's
off.
the legal strategic approach, and like our lawyer explained all the reasons why they would say exactly what they did to us, and we understood. And I think ultimately what happened, although I'm just speculating, but my guess is whoever was coming up with these designs for hand sanitizer was maybe, an intern or someone, and someone else didn't do their legal due diligence and cross-reference all the proposed terms that they wanted to put on the packaging with legal filings. Because they should have Googled, or not just Googled, but they should have trademarked, cross-referenced everything they wanted to put on their product with an existing catalog of trademarks. The same thing we do for Hollow Taco.